Yeah. So we both kind of thought. This should be this is a top three team in the AFC, possibly top two team in the AFC, and the Texans, and CJ Stroud having a miraculous rookie year, and looking to do better things in year two with Diggs and now Joe Mixon and his offense, and I would say I think the game went about as well as I thought. As far as the score, um, the amount of times Caleb got hit, and I would say Caleb missing on some throws still surprised me a little bit, but for the
Yeah.
most part, it was what we thought it was going to be. Like I said, for the most part, it was the Texans had a little bit too much offense for us. Defense held again. The defense is the lifeblood of our team right now. It's holding this 1-1 season together already. It's absolutely holding us together, and obviously special teams is good. Um, to your point, I would just say, just touching on the Bears a little bit. That offensive line deserves some criticism. They do. There's, and all these people are talking about trading for this, trading for that. That's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to trade for a center and a right guard and give up very minimal. You maybe find one of the two, or you maybe find someone who's kind of unknown, and you could get some sort of production out of them. But at this point, you're so deep in the playbook, you're so deep in the season already. It's week 3. You've already been through training camp, preseason. You're going to have to adjust your playbook. You're going to have to adjust what you do from here on out. So I would say, just touching on that, where's Blasphemy been? Where's our fullback been? That's something that I think maybe would help a little bit, maybe in the run game. It's not going to be a game changer, but at the same time, if guys are getting through, well, then if you got a fullback, at least he cleans one of those up, and at least the hope, and you can. Week 1, we were in a negative game script, right? So we had to throw, but in week 2, they get out early, but it's still a game where you can run the ball, and I don't think I know the Titans have a good run defense. Texans not so much. They just expose us with their two ends. Their two guys that they had with Will Anderson, and their other end is slipping my mind right now. Scotty, help me out.
For the Texans, he just played Daniil Hunter.
Yeah, Daniil Hunter.
Played for the Vikings, so he knew us.
Yeah, but like I said, I didn't panic from it. I've seen a lot of crap. A lot of people are freaking out. I'm not freaking out yet. As far as the NFL goes, this was the week of the underdog. Oh my gosh. Vikings beat the 49ers, Buccaneers beat the Lions. You got the Raiders going into Baltimore and beating the Ravens. The Cardinals,
crazy game.
The Cardinals beat the Rams, where Kyler has a perfect passer rating, which is weird because Madden came out. The Falcons beat the Eagles in Philly. Dude, this was a weird week. This is one of those weeks.
Yeah.
Chiefs beat the Bengals, which that wasn't weird, but that game was super, super tight the whole time. Bills beat the Dolphins. Dolphins are a huge upset on Thursday night. So weird week as far as around the league. I don't think it's ready to push panic necessarily on any of those teams. I know Baltimore is definitely feeling some pressure. I know they are. And now this week you got Indianapolis. They're 0-2, and that's going to be a desperate team coming in.
Yeah, and man, the Chiefs find a way once again. I know we're shifting gears a little bit, but it felt like the Bengals were going to get that one, and the Chiefs did what they always do. Patrick Mahomes. I actually was watching the game, and I told my wife, I said, hey, if the Bengals don't get a first down here, I guarantee you that the Chiefs are going to win 26-25. And surely enough, they didn't get a first down. They give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes. You get him 4th and 18, it doesn't matter. And I don't want to hear anybody complain. Like, I will complain as much about a penalty, but if it's the right call, then I'm fine with it. And the reality is that the Bengals were just there too soon, and they probably didn't need to be there too soon, but definitely were there too soon. The other thing that I would say about that game is Joe Burrow, as good as he is, man, he is turning the ball over too much in some critical moments. And we see that with other players as well. Back to our game, though, like the fact that there was 1:40, Caleb had the ball, and we had a chance to go and win the game.
It's exciting, wasn't it? It kind of was exciting. Yeah.
And then he hit Rome for that, 30-yard pass or whatever, and I'm like, are we going to make this happen? And then I watched the next couple plays, and that he took a bad sack. He ran the ball, like just a couple bad plays. And again, like I did a deep dive this week. If you follow us on Instagram, and Kyle Orton was 18. He was a rookie back in 2005. He had games the Bears won where was two for 10, 2 of 10 for like 20 yards passing, and the Bears won the game. And he like had terrible game after terrible game, and a lot of rookies struggle. So even though Williams has the potential, and Chris Collinsworth was praising him after the first half. He was like, Caleb Williams looked great tonight. He was 12 of 15 in the first half, 100 yards, led a scoring drive. And Collinsworth was like, this is a different guy. He's already making huge jumps, leaps and bounds to where he was week one. But unfortunately, that second half, the Texans decided we're going to blitz you until you can stop it, and we could not stop it. So
Man, I don't blame them, and I don't blame them. And honestly, Bears fans, if you're out there, stop listening to the national narrative. Like the national narrative overhyped this guy coming out of camp because he made a couple sexy throws in preseason, and then now they're already calling him a bust. According to some sites, and it's just like let the first season play out, and then when the first season's over, we'll evaluate. I just feel like it's still too early. I will say, I mean, it hasn't been a super overwhelming performance, but at the same time, you've seen some steps, you've seen strides. If he keeps improving, like think about just if he just continues the 1% better, whatever, just keeps getting better throughout every week. What's he going to look like by week 8 or week 9? Once we get into our division opponents, what's he going to look like? So, like I said, it's a blessing that we have that kind of week, first 7 or 8 games as far as strength of schedule. Still have to go out and win them. There's no excuse. It's a win's a win in the NFL. But for the love of God, stop listening to the national narrative. Like they're paid to make headlines. They're idiots. Like forget about it. Like it's creating it's making you have to question things you shouldn't question. So just let it unfold. I don't want to sound like Joel Embiid, but trust the process a little bit here. Like the O-line was terrible. He didn't have Keenan Allen, who's clearly a security blanket. He can't run the ball. Their offense is one-dimensional. Like it's not that hard to defend if you don't have to worry about the run, or you don't have to worry about certain guys. Like, so it's just trust the process is kind of where I'm at with it.
I think, and we're gonna have to move on here because we're talking about something that's been well talked about and we can't do anything about now. But there's a couple things that I noticed in my 20 rewatches of different all 22s and analysis from guys that know football more than I do, but I'm just collectively making my thoughts on this. One is that there were sacks, like there was a 3rd and 1 sack. All we had to do was line up in the I formation, bring in Rashawn Johnson, who's getting punched in the helmet on the sideline, getting punched in the face while he's not even playing, and give the ball to him and let him get a yard. Or Khalil Herbert. But no, we take a 7-step drop back and try to do a slant or something, and Caleb Williams gets drilled because he has no time. It just doesn't make sense. Like that was a drive that could have gotten points, could have made it 16-13 at one point. The other part that just doesn't really make any sense to me is, or that people aren't going to listen to, is Keenan Allen dropped a touchdown week 1. Rome Odunze dropped a touchdown this week. There's multiple touchdowns that Williams has thrown that don't count because people aren't catching them. DJ Moore probably should have come down with that one interception, the first interception Williams threw on the air. And then the other one was just a bad throw. He was trying to make a play. But even on that play, it was 2nd and 15 from the 10-yard line. He got out of a sack and threw the ball like 30, 40 yards down the field. And I know it was an interception, but still, like, it is what it is. Like, he's not doing bad things. And if anybody
he's running
else,
for his life. He's running. Yeah. He's playing backyard football when he shouldn't be, like for a whole game. I'm saying? Like he's there. I was very hopeful that our OC Shane Waldron, it would be a little bit more meticulous, and I figured, I thought it would look prettier than it did to this point. I mean, because if you look at look in Seattle, like they've had Kenneth Walker, they've had good running backs with good years. Like it's not like they're all air, And they've had, I would say, somewhat similar like skill positions. If you think about it, like go back and look at Seattle. They have Jackson Smith from Ohio State that they have. They have DK Metcalf. They have Tyler Lockett. Well, we kind of have a threesome like that as well, and we have a good running back. So it's like I would have thought that at least with the Titans, there would have been a little bit more on meat on the bone there. But on the other side of the ball, it has been nice in that second half of the Texans game to see our D line just get after CJ Stroud. That
was crazy.
That was lovely.
Felt
And
like-
that was
felt
much
like-
needed.
It was 13-3. It felt like the game was going to get away from us, and like our defense was kind of faltering. And then the fact that they only gave up 2 field goals the rest of the game, could have given up a touchdown to make it 26-10. But then they get that crazy fumble. Like Bears defense just finds ways. Kyler Gordon almost had a pick 6. Like there were so many close plays where it's like we were going to win. I know people are down on the Bears, but we're talking about the Texans, rightfully so, is a Super Bowl caliber team. We almost beat them in their place playing very bad offensive football. Like it kind of blows my mind that we were right there with that team, and we're very close. And you can say what you want, and people are going to criticize Caleb just because he's so like hyped up, and I get it, but I think he's going to be fine. And I don't know. I'm tired of it. I saw somebody that says GMs in the league are now thinking that the Bears made a lateral move by going with Williams instead of Justin Fields. Well, even if that's true, Caleb Williams is still the right choice because if he's as good as Justin Fields, we're paying him a lot less money than we would have to have paid Justin Fields. The only thing I wish we could have done is maybe got another center, but they did get Ryan Bates. We'll see what happens when he gets back. And
when is he supposed to be back?
He's missing 4 games. I think probably I have a feeling he won't be back till like after the bye week, which is like week 7. So he's gonna miss like the next 4 games probably. I think for sure he's gonna miss the next 3 games. But hey, I mean, we're gonna be all right. Let's get into this week. So we have one of our big rivals, the Colts. I don't know if they're truly a rival, but they beat us in the Super Bowl, and we would have beat them, but we had subpar quarterback play in that one.
Oh man, let's not talk about that, man. Let's not.
Except for
the Peyton Manning, the Reggie Wayne touchdown about broke my spine when it happened in 05, 06.
But we were up 14-6 even after that in that game, and it was just fumbles and interceptions, and really it was 22-17 until the pick 6. I still don't understand why somebody didn't tackle that guy out of bounds, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
It was a very fitting sexy Rexy moment, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. All right. Colts, Bears. Bears, I think are – man, I'm going to really guess on this, but I'm pretty sure they're like 1-1 at Lucas Oil Stadium, if I'm correct. I just have a really good knack for knowing these things. We played them in 2008, the year of the neckbeard, as I call it, and that was Matt Forte's rookie year. He had a great game. It was Sunday night. We won 29-13, beat Peyton Manning in their stadium opening game.
I remember that.
And then I know we played them again. It would have been, 8 years later, so about 2016. And I want to say like Brian Hoyer was quarterbacking the Bears, and it was a pretty good game. Came down to it, but Andrew Luck beat us at the end. I think it was Andrew Luck. And then we lost to him at our place in 2020. And so, yeah, that should be about the last few Bears-Colts games. But Eberflus, Colts defensive coordinator. So this is a little bit of a revenge game for him. Not a revenge game, but, one that he definitely wants. And one that the Colts have been giving up 200 yards of rushing so far this year. So if there's ever a game to get the rushing attack right, it's this one. And honestly, this is maybe a hot take, but I'm not a big DeAndre Swift fan right now. I think the Philadelphia Eagles had a great offensive line. It was easy for him to run behind that offensive line. Doesn't make a lot of sense what's going on in Chicago. But what's even more confusing than that is we were a top 2 rushing team the last 2 years with Herbert and Johnson and Montgomery and Fields.
That's that.
I get that. But still, like, those guys were blocking. There were holes. So why, with mainly the same guys back, it doesn't make sense. But anyway.
He's never been a prolific runner. I didn't even expect him to. I expected him around the 6 to 7 touchdown range, maybe get around 800 rushing yards. So, I mean, he's
Yeah.
probably right on par anyways, a little bit under what we were expecting.
All right. So my players to watch this week, Caleb. It's gonna be Caleb every week because we want to see him. Like I'm excited to watch him. That's a big thing too. Like win or lose, I'm excited to watch Caleb Williams to see if he's getting better because I think he will. The other thing in that, there's a little bit of drama with DJ Moore. There was a clip of him kind of mouthing something to Tyson Bagent that got blown out of proportion. Probably didn't really need to be, but man, I've watched some games from last year, and when you get DJ Moore the ball, even on Sunday night when they did, he does things. So Caleb's got to get on the same page as him, and they got to hit because if DJ Moore gets 6 or 7 catches in a game, we're going to move the ball down the field. Even if it's these stupid little screen passes, he finds ways to get 8 or 9 yards on those. And then Cole Kmet, like he kind of came on towards the end of that last game, but he has got to be a weapon, kind of like Travis Kelce has been for the Chiefs, because he's hard to guard. He's always open, and he's a great pass catcher. So I want to see those guys. I probably should have added like Khalil Herbert, Rashawn Johnson. I like those guys. I want to see them with more touches. I'm tired of Travis. Like, why is Travis Homer in the game as the third down back? Why is DeAndre
You want to
Swift
know?
so
You
many?
want to know why I think?
Why?
Because he played with Waldron in Seattle. He was a backup in Seattle.
Uh,
He's probably comfortable in his scheme and his system, and he probably met him underneath the table during their meetings. So
and I don't want to say anything too bad about Homer because actually he's made some great plays on special teams and he's been decent blocking and doing his thing even for the offense. But I mean, we spent what was Rashawn Johnson, a 4th or 5th round draft pick, maybe even higher than
I
that.
think he was 4th out of Texas.
Yeah, he needs to be seeing more of the field. He's a big, strong, powerful back. It should help out. It should help out DeAndre Swift, honestly. And then for the Colts, and I'll let you get in on here because I'm kind of going off. I've just been watching so much footage,
Yeah.
you know.
So knowledgeable though.
Well, Swift is getting all these outside carries.
So
He actually did have some success going up the middle, which I want to see more of that. But Anthony Richardson looked pretty good in week 1. He was 9 of 19, had a couple 50-yard touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor is always a threat to run the ball. He had a decent game last week, actually, against the Packers. It looked like Joe Mixon was going to have a great game against us, and then all of a sudden, like, he got shut down. And Alec Pierce, what is he, a second-year wide receiver out of Cincinnati, runs like a 4.3, 4.4. He had a couple of those big touchdowns in week 1. He also had a touchdown last week, and so he will be a threat for the Colts. They also have Michael Pittman, if I'm correct.
they do have the Pittman.
And so those some decent young receivers. I think Richardson could be a good quarterback, but he did have 3 picks last week. I hope he has 3 again this week. That would bode well for us. Who are you liking? Who are you looking for in this game on both teams?
Yeah. I mean, on starting with the Colts, you know, Richardson's going to run. He will. They'll have packages. You're not going to stop him from getting, you know, some yardage, some off script runs, scrambles. Bless you, Scott. Bless you. Bless your heart. But what I do think is how you beat them is like you said last week is getting him to turn the football over. Get him to turn the football over. That's gonna help our offense that again is struggling a little bit. Jonathan Taylor ran for 100 yards last week against Green Bay, where Malik Willis actually played pretty well for the Packers. But I would say again, yeah, our run defense is sound. I'm not worried about someone coming in and gashing us. I mean, it probably will happen over the course of 18-week season, but for the most part, I'm not worried about that as much. I am worried about the receivers. They're not household names, but they are weapons on our side. Again, I would say offensive line. As far as offensive line, Nate Davis, Shelton, pretty much all our offensive line is kind of. I think they gotten a lot of national scrutiny, which I think is rightfully so. So I'd like to see them in a more how do I want to say this? Just hungry and just refocused effort, in this next week. Yeah, they started to use Cole Kmet more, and I started to see him be used more. Because I'm just seeing Gerald Everett, and I'm like, that's good, but like, where's Cole Kmet? Where's Cole Kmet? And then as far as in the receiving room, I'm not worried about DJ Moore. I did see that clip and what they thought he said to Bajent, which is again just the social media doing its thing. But hopefully Keenan's back. I don't know. It looks like he's possibly out. So if he's out, then Rome has to get the ball more. We have to get him the ball, not on gimmicky plays. He was a legit receiver at Washington with Paperboy Penix. Like, he should absolutely be running. He should be getting the ball on the second and third layers of these defenses because that's what he did in college. And I know it's a different game, but that's his forte. He's not a gimmicky player. He's not Devin Hester. He's not. He's not even like a Johnny Knox. He's an established. He's a much more polished receiver than we've ever had coming in year one. So I would love to see those guys take on the next step. And again, I do like that it's on turf. Hopefully, that's going to help our offense. I think turf is a neutral playing surface for the most part. I think it's a pretty neutral playing surface. So those are some guys that I'm looking at. Again, something that I mentioned with Caleb Williams is I don't think we need to change the offense. I just think that there should be more attention to detail this week and the weeks coming of his pre-snap reads, which I know they're always going to do, but his pre-snap reads, his audibles, sliding protection. Not one time did I see him slide the protection or bring somebody in. And I know he's a rookie, but again, we talk about how mature he is. We talk about how elite he is from a rookie perspective in the rookie pool. I didn't see any of that, and that stuff is.
He was trying to do
it's got to be coached. It's got to be coached in for him to have a little bit of power in that offense, even if he is a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that stuff to me would have helped him in that game, whether it was bringing another blocker in, whether that was sliding the protection, whether that was, just little things that you see the elite quarterbacks do. I would like to see him be doing some of it, not none of it. So that's what I'm looking for. It's not just the aha throws. It's not just throws. It'll be the pre-snap stuff. Or because I did see an audible. I think I saw 2 audibles maybe in that game, which was good. That's encouraging.
A lot of stuff at the pre-snap, but which actually has me wondering, like, did he make a lot of bad pre-snap decisions that led to issues?
I mean, other than maybe communicating where the mics are or where the defense was, I did not see a lot of quality work that's going to help the feedback that's going to give the offense kind of a leg up for momentarily. Yeah. So I know they blitzed. I know they really just did what you should do to a rookie quarterback and just pressure him into mistakes. But just again, I would just like to see a little bit more on his end to just will his way to get the ball out of his hand and to our guys to make plays.
Yeah, for sure. The running game, though, got to get going. So that's going to lead us into, hey, this is really goofy, but I said protect Caleb/block.
Yeah.
That is a big thing we need to have happen in this week. We've already gone through that in a lot of detail. Next, run the ball. Run the ball well. Okay, we need to run the ball. We should have 100 yards, maybe 150 yards rushing in this game. If we don't, a team that's given up like an average of 220 yards or something, well, then that's a problem. And I guess it's only been 2 games, and obviously they're going to try to stop that. Get open for Caleb. But I'm looking at DJ Moore. I'm looking at Rome. I'm looking at Keenan Allen. I want to see those guys. Something else that's been really strange for me is how come DeAndre Carter is getting so many passes his way? Is that because he's winning matchups or what? Because, I mean, he was maybe not going to make the team, and now he's, like, always getting the ball. And I felt like there's a couple times where Caleb missed him, where if it was DJ or Rome, not that they're faster than DeAndre Carter, but that they are a little taller and would be able to, like, go up and get that ball. I'm wondering where that's been because I just feel like that should happen. For the Colts, it's going to be all about the dual threat ability of AR5, as they call him. The Colts can't turn the ball over. If they turn the ball over, if they have 2 to 3 turnovers, I say we win the game unless we're also even in that category. And they got a blitz on defense. What we showed the other night is every single team needs to blitz the heck out of the Bears. The stats were unreal. I think it was something like 27 hurries that Caleb Williams had, or was it 36? I remember there were multiple stats. Maybe he had 27 hits, but 36 hurries, and which basically was every single drop back almost because he had 37 completions. It was just unreal, the stuff I was reading after the game was over. So, what do you think about the paths to victory? Um, what else do you see the teams needing to do to win this game?
Yeah, I mean, it was apparent that in the Texans game week 2, like we couldn't even run play action. Like there was no point to run play action, and we couldn't even run play action. So it was again like for a rookie and for someone who we're not running the ball again. Now we're even like we're losing dimensions and a roundness to this offense. So again like that defense is not good against the run. It hasn't been. You'd like to think that hopefully we can win some more, even just one-on-one matchups, One thing I've always thought that Tevin Jenkins does a really good job on, and what he's known for is he's a run-stuffing mauler, right? He's a run blocker.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to be a road grader, a cheese grader on certain weeks. But so hopefully, we can kind of take that nasty back because I know he shows it on tape. I know there's been times. It would be nice to be done with this game week 3 and be able to say, hey, that we were by far the more physical team. I know we will be. I know we will be on defense, but that offensive line with Quentin Nelson and AR5, whatever, running the ball, there's going to be some physicality there on their end too. Like they're a physical team too. Jonathan Taylor is a physical runner. He's not a finesse runner. So it would be nice. It would be nice for us to sit here next week and say, man, the Bears were more physical, and it was apparent that they
were.
Exactly, Denny. So as far as on and then a few more things. Again, third down. What are we doing on third down? What's our red zone efficiency look like? Right? I mean, we haven't. What do we have? We have one red zone score, correct?
Yep.
And it was a run to Khalil Herbert. So again, I mean,
pretty rough.
What does that look like? And then again, if on defense, if we are able to neutralize the run, I only think that will help us possibly slow the game down, slow down the possessions that they get, and then again, hopefully force some turnovers. So just a few categories. Just for us, really, I'm just looking at red zone efficiency, and third down conversion. Can we make it easy on third down, and then can we execute on third down? Not 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 4. Whole playbook's open then. And then I would like to see if we can make it easy on Caleb, and Caleb can make the plays on third down. Standing up, not having to run around and having his shirt ripped off.
That's kind of crazy. I just, man, we got to figure this out. Like, the offensive line does concern me a little bit, and everybody's just trying to make a big story of everything else. But I just want to see him do some good plays. I want to throw a couple touchdowns. I want to see Rome have like a couple 10 to 15 yard catches. Like, let's put together a few of those, and make it happen. So that being said, a couple props for you. Williams, anytime touchdown. He's got to get one, right? Week 3, he doesn't have one yet. He's had 2 drops, so he should have at least 2 touchdowns on the air. He's got to get one. Bears over under 4.5 points. And will the Bears get 1.5 takeaways? There's a couple props last week that happened that I didn't think would happen, and a couple vice versa. But I'm going to say Williams gets a touchdown. I'm going to say the Bears have, I'm going to say under 24 and a half, because we haven't got more than 24 yet. I'm going to say we get 2 takeaways this week because we got just one this past week. We got the fumble. Yeah. So what are you thinking about those?
I like these numbers. I would say I don't necessarily think he scores on the ground, but I think win or lose, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is the game where, not the only game, but I think this is the first time where he goes out and people are like, oh, okay, I see it, I get it. There he is. Here he is. I get it. We can all be quiet about all the speculation. So again, I think on turf, I think where this defense is, And I think, again, we're the progression of where we are week 3 and all the film and all the constructive criticism that they've had to ensure through not only inside House Hall, but outside. I think our offense at least looks more what it should look like this week. So with that, I'll go slightly over. I'll say 27. It's 27 points, and I do think we get 2 takeaways. AR rushes over 50. And my initial thought is that with both offenses kind of struggling, I'm like, this game goes under its total points.
Yeah.
But the longer I kind of get going, it's like I don't think they blow that number out of the water, but I think that I think the Colts defense and there is enough offensive firepower on turf for this to be a small shootout. Let's call it that. Let's call it a mild to moderate shootout.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, I would say the Colts at least get 1 takeaway, and that was at the Colts. Oh, baby, you guys take the Bears money line. What is sexy about a -2? Either tease it, either take the Colts straight up to win, or you take the Bears to win on the money. There's no point. -2 is a stupid number. It's
It
a
is.
stupid number.
It might even have changed. I think it was actually 1.5 at one point. So, which again, like, man, you gotta like the Bears' chances here. But
You do. It's the NFL, and I mean the Colts are hungry for a win. They're 0-2. They don't want to be 0-3 because you know that stat about teams that are 0-3 or 0-4, right? It's what is it? Less than 10% make the playoffs when you go down 0-3, 0-4. So we'll have Raji check into that one. We'll get back.
yeah, so the Colts are -1.5 as of now. Also, Drake May is making his NFL debut at this very moment.
Live
For
on our
those
show.
of you that care, live on our show. Drake
Don't copyright.
May. Caleb Williams has started. Drake May is going in right now against the Jets. My prediction: he's going to get absolutely destroyed in the next 4 minutes and 24 seconds. But maybe. Oh, first. So there's that.
Yep. Hey, one last thing. If it's already at -1.5, I bet you by game time, I would be willing to bet Buster on this. That's my dog. That it's probably going to be a pick 'em. It'll probably be a pick 'em by game time on Sunday. It'll probably be a -110 both ways. So if you're going to take the Bears, take them now before that plus money turns away.
Yeah.
That's what my buddy on the strip hit me up on Vegas for. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, they ran the second play because didn't want to give him a interception.
Got to protect. Okay.
Here's my prediction. I'm going very conservative here, but Bears win. And I was looking at like another NFL preview of this game, but like half the people, maybe more than half, were picking the Colts. And I've even seen like people really dog on the Bears. And it's like we lost to a team that should potentially win the Super Bowl this year. And we had the ball with the game on the line. Like, there's a lot of disrespect. Our defense is elite, at least through 2 games. It's top 5. And, I mean, you can say what you want about Will Levis. I know he makes some stupid plays, but he had some nice touchdowns, looked good at times against the Jets as well. The only problem he had is, once again, they couldn't score at the end of the game. So, 2 decent – I'm not going to say 2 decent quarterbacks. 1 great quarterback and 1 guy who's not necessarily a rookie anymore. It'd be interesting to see how Anthony Richardson plays. If he can't get it done, if he throws multiple interceptions, this should be a shoe. And if Caleb comes alive, like, we're looking at something good here. So, what are you taking? What are you thinking?
I'm going 23-20 Bears, and I could very easily see the Colts on the other end beat us by. I mean, I think the field goal margin's pretty accurate, but I would say 23-20 Bears. I think Cairo from Egypt. Just kidding, he's from Brazil. I hope I think he's going to kick us a game winner. And again, I think the offense will look better. This is on paper about as easy as we can get coming off that Sunday night game, right? Like this is a gift. This is the gift from the scheduling gods. So we shall see. Again, we shall see. I'll get my voodoo and everything set up for the game, and definitely be smoking some meats on the Traeger, and maybe taking the trip to old Kansas. So I will. I'm going to say 23-20. I think DeAndre Swift gets in. I also think DJ Moore gets in. And on the other side, how can you not? How can you not take Michael Pittman? How can you not take Michael Pittman to score? Um, so
And Tyreek
those,
Stevenson and Jalen Johnson. That's why.
no, they're tough. I know they're tough, but I mean, let's be honest. Michael Pittman's what 6'4".
Yeah.
That's
I
the
don't
only
know.
advantage that he would have on them would be some height around the red zone.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think the Colts are another young team that is going to be dangerous in the next couple of years. Like I'm trying to think here. The Jags, I feel like they should be better than they are, but now obviously the Texans look to be the class of the South. The Colts could be good. They lost to the Texans by 2 week 1. I mean, that's some big plays on that Texans defense, but I bet you that the Colts offensive line is much better than the Bears. And then the Titans, I mean, they played us well, but we also played terrible on offense. That AFC South's a lot better, I think, than people realize. They were like, it's just going to be the Jags and it's going to be the Texans. But I think that every team in that division is pretty tough. So
Did make no mistake, the Texans are one of the most physical teams in the NFL. Make no mistake about it. Make absolutely no mistake. So you'd like to think, again, coming off that game with being with a physical test, next time you get back out there, you like to think that you're going to go ahead and turn the page and use a little bit of that into your next opponent. So, yeah, like I said, I don't think this is a blowout either way. I think this is going to be a tight game. I think we're very similar in kind of where we are in our kind of rebuilds, let's say, or the progress of the franchise. So 2 young quarterbacks again who have 2 different kind of games. 2 different. I mean, Anthony Richardson is kind of like a Justin Fields, but I mean he might be to a certain level. So
the way the Bears are playing this year, every game is going to be close. It's going to be nail biter. It's going to be a lot of anxiety and nerves, and yeah. So it's like every Bears team ever that's been any good. So we'll see. Also, just throwing this out there, I did happen to watch a video this week, a highlight video. Mitch Trubisky once had 6 touchdowns in like the first half of a football game.
He did.
I
Was
don't
that
know.
against Tampa Bay?
I don't know how. Maybe it was 5 in the first half. I think it was 5.
It was 5. Yeah, it was 5
He had
against Tampa Bay.
6 total. He had 6 with like 10 minutes left in the third quarter. It just blows my mind. And Drake May's getting a little bit of a drive together here. 4th and 8, he ran for about 12 yards. He's probably going to get his first touchdown in the next 53 seconds live on the show, on the live stream.
Yeah, they do.
They panned to Jacoby Brissett, who's looking upset, but it's just stupid because it doesn't matter. The Jets don't care.
Hey, couple picks that I like on the NFL slate here while we're talking about it. Chiefs are only a 3-point favorite on the road in Atlanta. I like that. That number is going to change.
You like that?
I like. We're about to find out if Kirk likes that or not. I think they played a really good game against Philly, but it feels to me like that was one of those games where they all the right things they had to go execute, but all the right things fell in place for them because they don't even get that last drive if Saquon catches the ball.
Darnell Mooney played pretty well in that one.
Yeah, he did. Of course he did. And then the other one I like, Packers are an underdog as well that I like. The Raiders are a 5-point favorite at home. And the last one, Lions Cardinals, take the over in that game. It's 51 and a half. 51 and a half. So it's going to hit late, but that take the over in that game.
Hey,
we got 2 Monday night games too, Scotty. 2 Monday nights.
Yeah, that's wild. I think they'll both be kind of fun. Let me give you some quick stats here just to supplement. The Bears and the Colts are both tied at 18.5 points for this year. So I said 21-20.
Okay.
I mean, it would be more than both teams average. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's only 2 weeks too, so it's kind of hard to read too much into this.
True.
The Bears average 18 points allowed per game. The Colts average 22 per game. The Bears' total yards per game is 31st in the NFL. The Colts is 14th. Pass yards per game, we're averaging 99 passing yards per game. And then the Colts have 198. Our rushing yards game is 28th, which is crazy. We're coming off a team that was, incredible. We're the 8th in yards a game. We're 9th in turnover difference, and they're 28th in turnover difference. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be a good one. But here we go. Drake May, 4th and 10. Oh, he hits the guy. They're on the 7-yard line. Man.
I got a buddy that's got all of his parlay legs hit. He needs a Ramondre Stevenson anytime touchdown right now.
In a dynasty league, I did pick up Drake May, so this could be good for me.
Did you
He's
really?
gonna get a touchdown here, and everybody's gonna be like quarterback controversy.
Oh, absolutely, there will be.
No, he just got crushed. He's probably got sacked.
Call time out. What are they doing?
I don't think they have one.
Why are they going to let the clock run? Even if it's school, why not give him a shot at the end zone? Call time out.
He's been sacked like 3 times. That was a really long amount of time that they let him be sacked.
Why would you not give him an opportunity to score, dude? I don't like that.
The announcer jinx. Oh, he got sacked with like 25 seconds left. It felt like.
Did.
And then they just laid
on
him. Man.
Typical defensive guy, huh?
Somebody probably had Drake May for a touchdown in that game. They're gonna get crazy. All right, Rodgers and the Jets are 2-1. What's that mean? They've only lost.
God, I hate this. He's not a backer anymore, so I can say he looked good.
He looked pretty good. People are look. Oh my gosh, the amount of cameras that are on Aaron Rodgers right now is crazy. It's like
I'm gonna go do some ayahuasca after the game.
Easy now. We can't talk about that on this show. So
what is that? I don't know. Is that like
I don't know either. Actually, they go to something in like Brazil or some Amazon rainforest. And
the speculation.
Who knows what it is? But yeah, well, that's gonna do it for our live stream of Turn Up Bear Down. Thank you for joining us. Really long show tonight. We had lots to talk about. Had a game going on as well. We'll be back here next Thursday. And don't forget to turn up and bear down. All right, I'm ending the live stream. Oh, it's not quite ending now.